Hi, I'm Laura Miolla from Moxie Life Coach, and today I want to ask you the question, why are you so afraid of risk? Most people find risk incredibly frightening for a number of reasons. Number one, risk is about cost and benefit. What is the cost? What is the cost, the energy, the effort that I need to put into something to try to get the benefit, what I want? So it's about the cost, but it's also being attached to an outcome. And that outcome is typically in some future that hasn't happened, that you can't control, and depends on circumstances that are also outside your control. So risk is scary because you don't know if this cost, if this energy, this effort will actually get you what you want at the end of the day. So in a lot of ways, you say, is it even worth it? And your inner critics tell you it's not, because they don't want you to embrace any kind of change, especially big change that feels scary to you. But what I want to tell you is that there are major pieces missing out of this equation. Number one is that when you feel like you can't control something, you can't control something in the future, you can't control the things around you, yes, that's scary. But you haven't put yourself into the equation. There is no risk, ever, when you trust yourself, when you trust your inner wisdom, your judgment. When you actually embrace the fact that if you choose to go down a certain path, you have the power to create it. You are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. And when we think about risk, we think we have to have a plan. But a plan says there's only one way to get what we want. And it negates the world of possibility that's available to us. Just because we want something doesn't mean there's only one way to get it. And just because this is in the future, it doesn't mean that we are committed to just one plan of action. You know, it's scary that there aren't any guarantees at the end of the day. But it also means we can choose a lot of other paths. We don't have to go down just one. We don't have to be committed to that one plan. We can explore what's possible, and we can choose to switch direction. We can choose at any minute, okay, this doesn't serve me, I'm going to try this instead. And we don't see that when we think about risk. I mean, let me tell you, it was a huge risk for me to coach full time. I had been working in a corporate job and coaching on the side. And it felt like this huge risk that, oh, will I make it? Well, that thinking will not help me make it. You know, what actually helps me is staying present in this moment and knowing that the choices I make today create the future I want tomorrow. So if I believe in my power and my ability to choose in this moment what's going to help me create what I want, then that gives me huge freedom and power. It's a shift in thinking that actually makes you more powerful. So if you think risk is scary, it's because you're not bringing yourself to the party. You're not bringing your power to create what you want there. And you're letting your inner critics tell you that it's all dependent on something else that you can't control. That's not the case. You are in complete control. It also has you really attached to a specific outcome, when in fact you can create in any moment. The things you wanted 5 years ago are not the things you want now. You are allowed to change and evolve and change what you think you want. That will happen as you have more experience, more knowledge, more information, more possibility. So the metaphor I like to use to help illustrate this is that if we're trying to cross the street, our inner critics will say, don't do it, that's a risk. You're going to get hit by a bus. That seems too risky. Don't step off the curb. When in fact, our inner wisdom will tell us, go ahead, just look both ways. That's all you gotta do. You'll be fine. Just look both ways. So there is no risk if you are bringing your power and your wisdom to the party. If you are trusting yourself that you can make these things happen. It might not happen in the way you think it has to or it should do, but every day you're making choices that create the future you want. So it's important to be mindful of those things and know that there is no risk. So think about how you could apply that to your life and the things you want in the future and how you want to make those things happen. And please, feel free to use the resources on my website, moxielifecoach.com. I also have another website, moxielifeleadership.com, because I'm helping people lead in their lives. And typically that's in the divorce space, but this is about their entire lives, both personal and professional. So use those free resources, consider becoming a Moxie member, and I'm always available to speak with you about your situation and how coaching might help you on your path through a free consultation. So until next week, speak the truth, even if your voice shakes.